Queues return as fuel scarcity hits. Federal government orders manhunt for 109 Suleja escapees. Security operators crack down on roadside traders. Lastly, on the foreign scene, Togo heads to controversial legislative polls on Monday. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust Television. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for joining. And now the news in detail. The continued closure of fuel stations in Gombe has significantly impacted the transportation sector in the state. Long queues were observed and the few filling stations that were opened on Thursday, with people spending hours without getting the product. While commercial transport operators accused marketers of hoarding the product, the marketers on their part, however, attributed the development to the shortage of supply. Hassan Kohli has more in this report.
For almost a week now, most of the filling stations have remained closed in Gombe. This has resulted in long queues at the outlet of rating skeletal services. People here are complaining about spending almost their entire day queuing to buy petrol. We had been here for more than 3 hours, but unfortunately, we were asked to vacate the filling station because one customer had an altercation with the manager. Despite all this, we are still buying 1 liter at the rate of 770 naira. Right now, we don't know where to get petrol. I solely rely on petrol to operate my tricycle, which is my means of livelihood. Earlier today, I bought a quota at the rate of 1,200 naira. The government knows everything and has what it takes to address it. But here we are, as if we have no leaders. I urge fellow Nigerians to pray and seek divine intervention. According to petroleum marketers, the development is largely due to a shortage of supply, assuring that all filling stations will be open once supply is restored.
Port Harcourt, Wari and Calabar also are Lagos. So we have short of supply from the source. Inshallah, we are getting very soon. Inshallah, everything is going to be resolved by the grace of God. What is the reason why we people that we need chief, and then when chief come, we are appreciating, and then now it's cost, and then we people, some people that they don't have capacity to buy now. If it's cheap, so people they will buy more and more.
Most of the residents who spoke with Trust TV said they are buying a liter of petrol at 730 to 800 naira, which is higher than the approved government price. Hassan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The situation is not so different in Katsina, as residents are defying the scout and sun to waiting on long queues to buy the product. Checks by Trust TV's news reveal that most of the filling stations remain closed, while those selling the product are selling between 815 naira to 870 naira per litre. And Trust TV's correspondent Abdullahi Ahmadi has more in this report.
The prolonged hardship occasioned by fuel subsidy removal in a country where majority are low-income earners is gradually becoming unbearable. Major marketers whose filling stations are few in Katsina are selling the commodity at government's price of 620 naira per litre, while independent marketers sell at different prices from 815 naira upwards. Prices of petroleum products vary from one filling station to another, with marketers saying it all depends on how it was sourced, how much it was bought, and the amount spent from the point of purchase to delivery. However, Katsina residents, especially motorists, are seriously feeling the pain and are being overstretched unduly, calling on the government to prevail on owners of filling stations to open for business and consider a downward review of the price. The earlier the government intervened, the better, because people have been pushed to the wall too much. Scarcity in almost everything because of fuel subsidy removal. Hunger everywhere in the land. What do you expect? Let me tell you, if nothing is done about it, Nigerians should forget about security.
We are suffering, more suffering. We are suffering. If you go to the station, we spend 3 hours, 4 hours waiting for the queue.
The entire problem lies with subsidy removal and allowing petrol marketers to determine the fate of other Nigerians. This is making marketers sell the product at will. We are really suffering. And the situation is getting worse by the day. The situation has greatly affected inter- and intrastate fares in Katsina, raising serious concerns among residents who have suffered from the prolonged hardship occasioned by fuel subsidy removal. Officials and members of IPMAN buy their products at private depots, not government-owned depots. This you should be able to tell Nigerians. So how much we sell all depends on how much we bought it, including the cost of its transportation and other expenses along the roads. Public commentators are lamenting the prevailing economic gap between the rich and the poor, suggesting the immediate implementation of a living instead of a minimum wage in Nigeria to save citizens from imminent hunger and starvation. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said on Thursday that bilateral partnerships between Nigeria and the Netherlands must be mutually beneficial and transformative and translate into verifiable gains for citizens of both countries. He called for a creative approach to find investment-minded solutions to benefit the two nations. The president's spokesperson, Anjari Ngalale, revealed details of Thursday's talks in a statement titled President Tinubu to Dutch Industry. Partnerships must be transformative. They must translate into real gains for citizens. He emphasized the importance of stronger ties between Nigeria and the Netherlands, saying both countries must explore more creative channels of collaboration to build bridges that connect markets and facilitate the flow of goods, services, ideas, and people. Tinubu argued that the administration is enhancing Nigeria's business environment to make it very friendly through various reforms.
Extremely knowledge-driven economy. A typical example for you will be that Netherlands is the second largest exporter of agricultural produce in the world. But if you look at the size of the country, it's actually quite small. So they do not cultivate as much as they export. But the use of knowledge and technology is responsible for the progress and the growth that you can see in their economy. And because of our ambition to diversify our economy in Nigeria, but ensure technical efficiency, which is whatever we do, we need to raise the level of productivity. It is important that we align, but also partner with countries like Netherlands.
We in Nigeria will have the available land, but our most problem is that the land is shrinking because we have a huge bulging population. There's habitation encroaching on farmlands. So what we need is increasing yield per space.
You know, for us to set up, have a meeting like this, you know, with a huge delegation from the Netherlands, it means there is high interest, and we've seen the bank investing in Nigeria, making a big commitment, from the president. And, we're happy to support. We have what it takes to bring more businesses into Nigeria.
The federal government has ordered a comprehensive manhunt for 109 fleeing inmates of Sola Medium Security Custodial Center in Niger State. The inmates escaped on Wednesday night when a torrential rainfall pulled down the walls of the facility. The government said it had pulled all security agencies on alert to apprehend the escapees and ensure their immediate return to the facility. It was gathered that 109 escapees fled the facility, but 10 of them were immediately apprehended. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunjiojo, who visited the facility for an immediate assessment of the damage and get information on the fleeing inmates, said the government was considering the relocation of the custodial center. Tunjiojo said that the escapees have ample time to return on their own to the facility, as all their biometric information will be released to the public as soon as possible. Now, the Federal High Court in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, has ordered the arrest of the former Director General of the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, Ladi Hamalai, for her failure to appear in the corruption case preferred against her by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. Trial Judge Justice Christopher Oba issued the bench warrant on Monday for the arrest of the professor following her repeated failure to show up in court. The ICPC counsel, Michael Adeshola, had informed the court that this is the fourth consecutive time that the former DG of NILS failed to honor the invitation of the commission to appear in the case, having been properly served. The commission, in a 4-count charge, also accused the former DG of requesting for another sum of 29 million naira for the furnishing of a building as government guest house. The matter was adjourned till 9th of September 2024. And the Trade Union Congress, TUC of Nigeria, has urged the federal government to pay 35,000 naira as March and April wage award to workers. The Congress said public workers had not received their March and April pay despite an agreement with the federal government on the payment. TUC President Festus Osifo said this while addressing journalists on Thursday at the end of the union's National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had approved the payment of 35,000 naira wage award to federal workers following the removal of fuel subsidy. Now, officials of the Kaduna State Ministry of Health say no case of strange disease was recently recorded in the state as earlier reported. Reports had emerged that a disease outbreak was recorded in some states, including Kaduna. But the state government, at an event to mark the 2024 World Malaria Day in Kaduna, said such reports were not true. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more.
This is Kulimashi community located in Kaduna Metropolis. One of the challenges of the community is the prevalence of mosquitoes that lead to frequent cases of malaria in the area. Residents here are celebrating the day with concerns about the prevalence of mosquitoes that spread the malaria.
Like in the night, if you come to this place, you see mosquitoes flying up and down, going up and down, getting into rooms, biting people. It used to bring it, so it will bring malaria. It brings malaria for people. So we don't know what to do. Please, if government can provide this net for us to be using, I think it's better.
Well, it has to do with personal hygiene, because number one, you have to have a clean environment to ensure that mosquitoes don't grow around you. You clean your bushes, make sure there's no stagnant water around and things like that. So these are the easiest way that mosquito can breed and can infect people.
In order to fight the disease that has affected communities like Kurmi-Mashi, Kaduna State joins their counterpart world over to mark the day by reflecting on the challenges of preventing the disease and the way forward.
Malaria is a disease of public health concern with an estimated 247 million cases occurring globally, according to the World Malaria Report 2021. 27% of this burden occurs in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In addition to this, we have over 400,000 deaths related to this disease being recorded. A malaria indicator survey in Nigeria has placed the incidence of this disease among children under 5 in Kaduna State as high as 16%. The Kaduna State Ministry of Health has established a robust partnership with international and donor organizations.
Stakeholders say Nigeria alone accounts for more than 27% of the global malaria burden, as the country records about 55 million cases of malaria and approximately 90,000 malaria-related deaths.
I think with continuous sensitization, letting the citizens know what steps or what is their role in this fight, it will go a long way.
Every day is a malaria day because malaria is with us until we eradicate malaria completely, like some countries that did, like Cape Verde of recently eradicated malaria. There's no malaria in Cape Verde, like Algeria. Why don't our government take cue and have a very, very strong political will on malaria situation?
The Kaduna State epidemiologist Jeremiah Dako debunks report that Kaduna State recorded a strange disease recently.
For now, there's no strange disease in Kaduna State. We know it is in Sokoto State, as extended to Zamfara State, but for now we don't have it in Kaduna State at the moment. So since we have it, we are prepared. We have rapid response teams that are ready to respond to any illness.
World Malaria Day urges people to come together to prevent the spread of this disease. The theme for the 2024 is accelerating the fight against malaria for a more equitable world. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
This is the news update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break, we'll take a look at security operators cracking down on roadside traders in Jos. Details of this report and more after the break. Join us again. Welcome back. You're still watching the news update on Trust Television. If you're just joining, let's take a look at some of our top stories again. We told you earlier that queues return as fuel scarcity hits. And the federal government orders manhunt for 109 Suleja escapees. Now moving on to more stories, the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria, has been adjudged as the best aviation training college in Africa. The Chairman Joint Committee on Aviation, Suleiman Yahya, stated this during a fact-finding visit and on-the-spot assessment of the facilities at the college. The visit follows alleged plans to relocate some of the college simulators to another location. The report.
On arrival at the college, the aviation committee members led by its chairman, Suleiman Yahya Richfa, settled for the business. They are here to get a clear perspective on the alleged move to relocate the smoke and fire simulator out of the college. This has been a subject of investigation in the National Assembly.
Maybe within. Yeah, they have not any. Maybe moving from here. No. As you see the installation, yeah. Is it easy to remove any compartment here or components here? Cannot.
After a brief meeting, the acting rector led the committee on an assessment of facilities. The committee chairman, Suleiman Richfa, after touring the facility, engaged the crew and promised more support for the college.
The allegation get to the National Assembly, and subsequently the allegation come to the Committee on Aviation and that of Aviation Technology. The Joint Committee invited the Minister and he appeared before the committee. He made it very clear during the discussion that the allegation is false. It's false. So we find it necessary to come personally to see it physically. And luckily, for us, we are here today. We have seen it, it was tested, and we are satisfied with what we have seen.
According to the acting rector of the college, the simulator, which is the best in Africa, has been put into use and has graduated its first set of trainees in 2023, while anticipating more trainees.
Happy that they came, because before now, fabrications of lies that the simulator will be moved from here. But they have seen with their eyes that there is no way that this equipment can be moved from here, as demonstrated by the firefighting unit. So we are happy, and that will form a good report. We have been going to the National Assembly to answer many questions, but today it is clear that nobody can move this simulator from this place.
The Joint Committee chairman advised the nation to fully utilize the college, as it appears to be underutilized. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And away from Kaduna State, security operators, including soldiers, police, Civil Defense Corps, and had cracked down on roadside traders operating around Terminus Market in Jos, the Plateau State capital. The joint team of security operators reportedly arrived at the market on Wednesday night, prepared to prevent traders from conducting business activities on Thursday as a way of sanitizing the metropolis. Ado Musa completes the report.
The state government had previously set April 22, 2024 as the deadline for the roadside traders to vacate the areas. However, the traders didn't vacate until Thursday, when the joint security operatives arrived at the areas. The state government also said they had asked the traders to leave because business transaction around the area is creating serious congestion, adding that it has planned to make part of the occupied areas a bus terminal. But some of the traders say they were not adequately informed, adding that no provision was made for them before security operatives evacuated them from the road.
Pleading government to come to our rescue. It's not like we traders, we are not happy going into the market. We are very happy. The way the government organizes it is not fair. As of yesterday, as a trader, I went to the market authority. I obtained my form from government at the rate of 6,000 naira. I asked, when are we allocating? When are we moving into the market? The authorities say in due time, they will tell us. Only to my greatest surprise, coming out this morning, I saw everywhere was
people are doing market at the roadside just to wake up on a day. Here's that they have sent people away from the market. We are really looking forward for the government to please pity the poor. The poor are really, they comes out to hustle. So if you can look on to us and repair the market for us clean, so that we'll come to the real marketplace. This place, because really we are not really enjoying doing market at the roadside, but we are just managing to see that we get food to eat.
I am not happy with what has happened because we were not told that security operatives were coming today. This is where we get money to buy food. But all of a sudden, we were just dispersed. The government did not provide any place for us. How do they want us to survive? The traders, however, call on the state government to provide them with another place to continue their business. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And away from Nigeria, Togo will head to the polls on Monday in legislative elections that follow a series of government crackdowns on opposition protests and the passing of a controversial new constitution that could allow the president to stay in power indefinitely. The party of President Faure Gnassingbé has passed a constitution which allows him, as the president, to sign off on what would see Parliament elect the president instead of a direct vote by people. Civil society organizations and opposition supporters have condemned the move, calling it anti-democratic, as it would allow Gnassingbé to essentially stay in power indefinitely. Opposition protests have been banned ahead of the election and foreign journalists forbidden from covering the vote. The Catholic Church has also been barred from acting as observers. Monday's vote would give the opposition a chance to gain more seats in Parliament, which could give them a more say on major policy changes like the passing of a new constitution. And that brings us to the end of the news at this hour. For more programming, documentary, and of course the news, follow us across all of our social media platforms. On behalf of the news crew, I am Martia Umar saying thank you for watching and stay tuned.